Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying that content, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It's free to join. Once in the general chat area, just at mention member staff will be happy to help you out. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff now. So we've been talking about this potential drop into this zone of this previous fourth wave for a while now, and effectively there's two ways of looking at this move. We can either look at the third wave completing into this high point here, or alternatively, we can look at it as in this example, we'll be looking at this from back here, where we get this as a bigger structure to the downside here. And then basically this would be looking for this as a flat correction up here, and then potentially looking for this fifth wave to the upside still. So this is something that can still play out. We're going to be keeping an eye on this zone. Interesting area would be this 20,354, which would be a 0.382 retracement, as well as the potential of testing this bottom channel line here again. But we are also coming up quite close to this channel that we were previously sitting in over here. So this is a zone that we could look to actually retest. So we're going to see how we react from here. And then basically we've got a couple of counts and we're going to go over all of them. So make sure you stay tuned so that you have all the options available. Okay, so for the most part, we are still looking for evidence of this fourth. We haven't actually had it confirmed yet, so we just need to keep an eye on this move to the downside. If it starts to get out of hand and we actually lose this 19490 area, it would be indicating something else is playing out here, and that potentially that we are forming a different kind of structure. So we don't really want to lose this box if we're looking for this additional fifth to the upside. Okay, so I'm gonna go over. This is This is my alternate counts at the moment. My preferred one is the one that was just on screen. But basically, we'd be looking for a fourth wave uh, into this zone of this 22,080 to this 19,869 zone. So within this, basically what we'd be looking for is the fact that this is an A, B, and a C, and then we're looking for somewhere within this yellow box target. So if I throw this onto this high point here, down onto this low and up into this high again, we can see here that actually we've already come past this 121. So we need to just watch this zone. This 1236 could be an interesting zone as well, sitting here at the 21523. The 21306 would be the 382, and then finally that lower range would be that 20,960 zone. So these are all interesting zones that if we do continue to move down here, we could potentially look to get a reaction. Should we have this move playing out? We do have the potential of counting this as a five-way move, so we're going to go over that as well. And basically, what we'd be looking for here, the thing is, if we do get this kind of a structure play out, as it is shown here, just as an ABC, potentially this could complete here, or alternatively, this might turn into something more complex again, where actually we get this as a triangle or something like that, and then we look to actually push up to the upside from there, or alternatively, we could form another leg to the upside here in a three-wave structure, something like this, and then actually look to break down one more time and look to come deeper into the support zone here, so that we're looking for this bigger green box area. Once again, if we do form something bigger here, target zone for me ideally would be this previous fourth wave, somewhere within this 0.382 zone. So this one's slightly different because the move is slightly higher. So this one's 382 would be this 20,833. So that would be an area to keep an eye on as well. The perfect scenario would be actually a retest into this channel and then a move away back up for that fifth. That would be the perfect situation, but we'll have to see if that does play out. Within this move here, we can see, I'm going to just turn this on. Which one is it? So we can count this in a couple of ways. We can either count this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're looking to break down here, or we can argue that this is a wave 1 in here, 2, and then effectively we're already within that third wave. So that's this next count here. So this yellow third wave here could potentially be lower. We can argue that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 is a flat, and then actually we're looking for this third wave still to complete. If it hasn't completed, this zone I'd be looking for potential completion would be this 21, 2, 6, to this 21,510 zone. If it has completed, what I would be looking for would be the potential to actually come back up here towards this 22,1525 to this 2276 zone. If we maintain this zone and we don't actually cross above this 22,353, then potentially we still have this fifth wave decline here to come towards this 21,516 to this 21,341. This is obviously depending on whether we get further extension within the waves, but this would be a typical zone we would be looking to target out. And then from there, basically, we'd have to keep an eye out for whether we get these additional fourths and fifths here, where this becomes an additional 1, 2. Like I said, you can argue that this is a 1, 2, but the problem with looking at it like that is then you wouldn't have completed you wouldn't have really gone down to this 1618, which can happen. It doesn't have to. If we get an extension within wave one, it's possible that wave one and wave three can be quite similar in size. So we'll have to just see how this plays out. If we do get a bigger fourth and a fifth here, and then an additional fourth and a fifth, then it would confirm this idea of the extensions here. If we just get one more move up for a fourth and then we come down for a fifth, then potentially it would just mean that we actually completed a 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for, sorry, 1, 2, 3 with an extension in the wave one. We get that fourth and fifth, and then we actually look to push to the upside again. So where the push goes is going to be very important here. Effectively, with this, we need to bear in mind that we could still see further extension. For as long as we stay below this 23,452, we can always get a further rejection here. So even if we do move down into this yellow box and we have this in that other count where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we'd have to just be careful of rejection again between in this 50% zone all the way up to sort of this 786 area. This area could offer us a rejection again, and then we could be looking to form a bigger structure. It's not my initial thoughts, but we need to keep an eye on it because this fourth wave still hasn't confirmed yet by starting to form that fifth wave to the upside. So we need to just keep an eye on this because all we have is a three-wave move to the upside currently. Okay, so that is the one way of looking at it. The other way that I'm looking at it is effectively, like I said, that we're looking for this as a five-wave move to complete to the downside here. So within that, there's two ways. Once again, I'm going to get rid of that micro counting there. And we've got the simple way of looking at this. And basically, that would be looking at the potential that we're still within this wave three. So if we do get these extensions that we actually have here, um, we can see that this would actually look to push us down with this yellow wave count here, potentially into that zone where we could reach that 1.618. So we need to just give this a bit of time and see how it plays out. If we do get these additional extensions within these waves, effectively then we could look to actually push down towards this 20,958. And then if we do move to that zone, what I'd be looking out for is actually looking to push up again for this fourth wave here and then looking for that rejection to the downside again. So this is something that can play out if we do actually move down towards this 20,958. So we need to keep an eye on it and see if this is the actual count that's playing out here. So the other way that we can also look at it is basically looking at this as an extension within here, where we have this as a 1, 2, a 1, 2 again, and then effectively would be within this a yellow third wave here. So, like I said, whether we complete, if we're following this scenario, what we would be looking for is, once again, it's the same micro count on the internals. We'd be looking to see whether we have this as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we look to push up for a fourth, and then a fifth, or alternatively, basically, we would be looking for these additional extensions here. So it's going to be a bit tricky. This one, we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But basically, what this would mean is if we do get these further extensions to the downside here, shown by this count, let me turn this one off for a second. If we do get an extension down in this count, it could still mean that we have further extension, and then we would still be looking out for the possibility of having this all being the third, fourth, and fifth, and then we have another fourth and a fifth from the upside. Yeah, you see, we've got that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So this is something that can still play out. So if we do get these further extensions, then it becomes more likely that actually we might look to revisit deeper down in the zone. Like I said, this 382 zone, or potentially it would be very deep coming to that 490 zone, but it is still possible. So that's just something we need to keep in mind, that if this does extend out, we could look to actually move down deeper into this. But losing this zone effectively would make this very unlikely anymore, and we'd have to start looking at this just as a bigger impulse that's breaking down and argue that this structure has potentially completed here. If that is the case, effectively what we'd be looking for is whether we manage to find support in this deeper retracement zone, which would be this 19366 to this 17021 at the lower end. There's some interesting points in here that you can have a look at, and basically this little area here is the golden pocket between this 373 and this 110. So that's a zone that we could, if we do break down deeper, find support. But we do have to break back through this rising channel that we've been in, as well as these two that we've broken out of. So it is possible still to find support here and push up one more time, in my opinion. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But primarily, I am anticipating that we're going to be potentially getting this little bit more of an extension here. If we do break down deeper here within this count and we do look to complete lower, then we'd still be looking for the potential of this fourth wave to the upside and an additional fourth and fifth. So you can see how these things they can start to get a bit complicated, but effectively what would happen, I'm going to change the color of this one to green. So this green wave five or green five wave move, effectively what would happen if we do get these extensions that we showed in the smaller count, this green wave three would actually shift over here. I need to adjust these the degrees, but basically this would then shift into here, and this would become a bigger move, and then we'd get an additional fourth and a fifth, and then this third would move to the fifth wave here, and we'd get an additional fourth and a fifth there. So, that's what I'm saying. This lower zone can become quite reasonable if we do start to get these extensions. So, just for some potential fib targets, I'm gonna have to get that back on there. But if we are looking at this as potentially looking at it as a flat, just want to get this on there. There we go. Some interesting zones that we can potentially look for is this 3618 at 21,098. Lower down, that 4618 would be that 20,311, which ties in quite nicely with that 0.382. So, and then 5.618 would actually be the lower end of these. Sometimes we can get this where we actually get the extensions coming out further than that 1618. So we need to just give it a bit of space and see how exactly things play out. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the video there, but basically for as long as we carry on setting these lower lows and lower highs, we can still be looking for this continuation to the downside. So we're gonna have to do a bit of an update on this later. Effectively, if we start moving up past this 22,353 and this zone here of this 22,664, it would actually lead to the invalidation of this extension within these counts here. And then basically what we'd be looking for is either the potential that this completes here and we look to push up for that fifth, or alternatively, we're going to be looking for that potential of, let me remove all these. The potential that we could still face further rejection here and form a more complex move. If we do actually take this high point here, it becomes less likely that we're in this flat because of the structure, and basically we would have to look at the potential that the secondary count is in play. But the zones we could be looking for rejection, if we do move back up here and start to invalidate some of these targets, would potentially be between this 50% of this 22,902, which would be sort of coming back into this zone here, which we've been consolidating in. And then the higher end of this range would be this 23,666. If we do push down towards this 382 zone, we could be looking for the potential to move up with a fifth wave towards this 26,232 to this 24,820. So we just need to see how this reacts. We need this to prove itself, though. We want to see this come back down into this zone. Then we want to start to see five wave structure develop to the upside. We want to see that three wave decline to the downside, and then we want to see this start to take shape. But yeah, that's effectively what we're still looking at. The target zones have remained the same. And yeah, I hope that everyone who has been watching has taken advantage of this. Let us know down below if you have managed to. Yeah, let us know. Everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Always happy to hear from you. In the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff, and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. And yeah, that's it, everyone. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.